Welcome to War Unlimited, the podcast show thing where me and whoever I invite this week play a game of Warhammer, and then we talk about it afterwards because Games Workshop will kill us if we use footage of how we actually were playing these games. Anyway, um, tonight my co-host is my good friend Joseph. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing good. Hello, sports fans.
I love how you and Zach had the same thought process with this, but Zach went into a full-on ESPN announcer spiel for I think a solid 30 seconds.
God damn it. And here I thought I was breaking new ground.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you look, you did it differently. That's all that matters. Now, tonight we have a very special episode for you. And by that, I mean it's just a second episode. This is the second one we're doing. We're still figuring things out.
But it's the first time I'm here, so it's special.
That's true. It's you can mark it down on the wiki as the first appearance of Joseph.
Mark your calendars, folks.
Speaking of Joseph, would you like to talk about the army you played?
I would love to. So, tonight was my first time playing the Sons of Dorn, or as I like to call my little army, the Wet Floor Signs. My army was sorry?
Oh, no, you're all good. I was going to say, also, I should have Joseph's army list up on the screen right now. If I do not, it's either because I forgot, which I shouldn't because I'm going to be listening and editing this, or I just was too lazy. But hopefully it's on the screen right now, and if not, feel free to burn me in the stakes down below. Or if I did do it, feel free to burn Joseph to the stake for their army list, just like you can do to me when my army list goes up in a minute.
You can try. Many have tried, but many have failed. But anyway, getting back to my army list, my army was primarily based around Terminators and mostly heavier armored units. Mostly with things along the lines of Terminators, Redemptor Dreadnought, Chaplains and Terminator armor, things of that like, and Centurions. So I was essentially just playing the moving wall as the Imperial Fists are wont to do.
Yeah, I did not quite realize how that worked when I started this round with my army. I played Sisters of Battle tonight, good old Adeptus Sororitas. My army's called Celestine's Bloody Roses because this is actually an army I collect and build, and I like having cute little lore names for them. Trust me, when we start getting to armies I don't usually play, I'm going to have some really stupid names planned. But yeah, my list should be on screen. If not, roast me for being lazy. If it is, roast me for just building a bad list.
And if something else is there, then put 3 in the chat.
That's true. I could have responded so much better than saying that's true. Yeah, do that. But no, basically what you're looking at right now, this should be my army list. I tried doing this as a general, just kind of a general multi-purpose Sisters army. And I expected this fight to be against, how other Space Marine fights I've done have gone, where it's pretty, pretty simple, pretty good against normal infantry. I did not realize that Dorn's boys were as sturdy as they are. Holy crap. So, before we get into that, though, Joseph, how did you feel about the match? How did you feel about how the match went?
Honestly, I felt really good about it afterwards. It felt great because, for context for the viewers here, before this, I'd been playing Ultramarines with a lot of units that were a lot more fragile, but I had a lot of Terminators and I really liked them. This was the first time I really went into do a major rework of my army. So I went from Cheerios to Raisin Bran in terms of shaking things up. And I decided I'm going to go all in on my Terminators. So I got Chaplains for all of them because I didn't do that before, because I didn't realize how good Feel No Pain was. I got some heavy Intercessors, Centurions, things of that nature. And I was pretty confident, though I was a little worried seeing all the Sororitas that Jay here was laying out in front of me. But after the first round, I quickly realized that my wall was holding a lot better than the Ultramarines were in my previous attempts. So I was feeling pretty confident and pretty good for the match. Your thoughts, Jay?
I let those girls die, Joseph. I let them die.
Yeah, so we'll get more into the details about Jay's I'm sorry, women letter later.
Yeah, I'm going to have to write a letter apologizing to women for how badly I did this game. Holy shit. But yeah, we'll get into that as this goes on. So on screen you should see how we set up our deployment. We're doing a standard, I think this one's Hammer and Anvil, might have been Dawn of War, I can't remember which is which, deployment on this map you're seeing right now. Pardon me. We both, I think, Joseph, you deployed first, right? Wait.
Yes.
Wait, we have the footage in front of us. I can look. I forgot about that. But, yeah, no, pretty standard deployment. I ended up going first. So let's get into round one, where things went... things got really funny real fast. I made a lot of pretty standard moves. Just tried to kind of move things up the board. I tried getting the Nundums, or the Paragon Warsuits as they're actually called, as close to Joseph's Terminators with, I don't remember his name, I just know he has a weapon called the Fist of Dorn that has a hammer that has a giant fist built into it.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name, I just remember that about him.
I don't remember his name at the moment. Hold on, actually, I can pull up his name very quickly for research purposes. And in post, we'll just throw it on top of it, or something.
Name and address withheld.
I'll be attacking with name and address withheld.
But, while Joseph looks that up, let's just say that, I was under the impression, because I beat up some corn demons against, actually against Joseph's partner recently. I thought that my Nundums, or my Paragon were, I'll just keep calling them Nundums. I like the play on words better. My Nundums, I thought they could take some Terminators. I might have gone too complacent using my Howling Banshees to take out Terminators, because dear God, did that not go well?
Yeah, commenting on that, this is where I did not use chaplains in my previous armies for my Terminators. I didn't really think there was much for them, but then I realized, oh, wait, this gives them the ability to just essentially jump all the way to a starting point right from the get-go, because they can move as long as they're 9 inches away from the enemy line, it's a legal move. So they drop down...
Infiltrators, essentially.
Yeah, Infiltrator. They immediately drop down onto a point, and they just stayed there like a tick. And then once Jake here got into melee range, that's when we understood the full power of Feel No Pain 4, or 5.
Yeah. Oh, also, real quick, because I just realized we forgot to say them. My secondary objectives were assassinate and bring it down again, because I assumed with 4 characters and a bunch of vehicles, that would get some easy points. Boy, is that foreshadowing. And Joseph, I believe...
it was,
oh, sorry.
It was engaged on all fronts and cleanse.
Okay. You know, I just realized you didn't cleanse a single point that entire game.
No, because I will say, my army... I did not get a good position or time where I could just clean anything out. I'll go more into that as we continue here. But my army, one of the main issues it has is it has to focus on doing one of 2 things. And those 2 things being either taking out a high priority target or taking out a swarm. It can't do both at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you managed to do both really, really well interchangeably.
Yeah, not as nice as I would have liked, honestly, though that's primarily due to the fact that this one over here really was playing the Sisters of Battle, because they were just continuously rolling 6s for saving throws that somehow they were just, casually parrying bolter fire and flamers, and at one point even a whole las cannon, just because Emperor protects, I guess.
Yeah, I rolled more 6s last night than I think I have rolled in my last 3 games.
I've made jokes... Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I've made jokes in the past during matches of, oh, that's a lucky roll. I'm gonna like get a lottery ticket. I genuinely, I was saying that they should go out and get a lottery ticket because, oh man, the amount of sixes
Unfortunately, my wife won't let me.
Damn.
I could, you know, I could be a millionaire right now, but no, it's unfortunate. No, I'm kidding. There's no way I would win the fucking lottery. Are you kidding me?
None luck carrying over to the lotto. But anyway,
I just gotta get a nun to bless my lottery ticket.
I need this. Anyway,
Do you think that's something that happens in the do you think one, do you think the lottery is a thing in the Warhammer universe? Two, if it is, do you think they try to get the Emperor to bless it or try getting the Ecclesiarchy to like bless it?
I don't know enough about gambling to say, but given other things with luck, I would believe if you asked a sororitas to like get a lottery ticket, they would like say like Emperor bless before scratching a scratch ticket.
And then winning like 1 billion credits or whatever the fucking currency system is in Warhammer.
No, exactly.
That reminds me, before we get too far, but because we're talking about lore, I mentioned this to Zach on our last episode, but I thought it'd be really funny if you and I did like an episode of something with him, where you and I just sat him down and both of us explained Warhammer lore to him, except one of us was lying the entire time. And he didn't know who going into it. And he had to figure out what was lies and what was truth.
Oh, are you suggesting we do a little Alpharius Omegon action? Just
I was more thinking of that old riddle of there's two paths, two doors guarded by two dudes. One always lies, one always tells the truth. But like I guess that is Alpharius and Omegon, I guess.
Kind of yes and no. But honestly, I want this now. I want to do it only because you know how many like 40k lies I've built up over the years now.
Yeah, you've gotten me with a few of them, like Gilliman having Deadly Demise, which has also gotten multiple people with that.
Yeah. Context for you at home, the viewer. I did not know Demon Primarchs have Deadly Demise upon defeat, but one of the things people didn't realize is like a lot of the tags Primarchs have, including things like the monster tag. So as a joke, the one time I just said, okay, now I get to roll. When Gilliman died, I said, all right, now Gilliman rolls for Deadly Demise. And everyone I say that to, he's like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? Why wouldn't this like 8-foot tall, like like this superhuman grown on the moon by the Emperor himself? Why wouldn't he just explode when he died? Why not?
I'm gonna have that image you edited of Gilliman like chugging gasoline on screen right now while this is going on. I want you to know.
Awesome. But
anyway, back to the match.
Matching.
So, funny things happened. I think we left off with my Paragon Warsuits getting beat to death by Dorn's Goon Brigade, and by that I mean a bunch of Terminators with power fists.
Yeah, so again, the Chaplain just removed all that damage. So the shooting phase, melee, all that, like, what was it? You did like 1 damage, I think?
I think I got 1 Terminator down in that both from shooting and from hitting you, like, with my melee weapons. I think I got a single Terminator. Yeah, looking at the footage,
you got one Terminator.
I got 1. And then everything went bad.
Yeah, because for context for the viewers at home, not only do all those Terminators have power fists, which are doing damage on each hit is a 3. The Chaplain also does damage and also buffs melee attacks. These Nundums were not long for this world after that.
It was really unfortunate, and it was the moment I realized I didn't know what I was up against, and by that I mean Dorn, I'm sorry, I was not familiar with your game. I really wasn't. I assumed you were going to just be Ultramarines in yellow.
I mean, they basically are. It's just...
Look, you could have fooled me based on how well these went compared to your Stern Guard vets that you had with your Ultramarines.
See, this this is my secret like mental game. I just played the same army for so long, everyone just assumes like, oh, it's gonna be the exact same thing as them. No. This is me taking the credit for something I'm not actually smart enough to pull off, but
Look, sometimes the mental games are the biggest parts. Sometimes you just gotta make the other person lull themselves into a false sense of security.
exactly.
Which you did with me over the course of us setting up your army, and me just being like, okay, this is basically the army I fought before with like minor changes, and then realizing those minor changes make a big fucking difference.
Yeah. But anyway, getting back to it, that was
That was
round
my
one.
first turn. No,
Yeah.
because we haven't talked about
Oh,
your
yeah.
turn yet.
Right.
Where,
Okay.
If I remember correctly, this is where your Centurions with the funny grav cannons just blasted my Castigator off the board.
Yeah. So most of my first turn was just spent effectively just moving things up the board, but my Centurions, they were primarily put on my army because one of the big things my old army struggled with was vehicles. I do not like dealing with vehicles unless you get close enough to it to like hit it with something. My Centurions got into firing range, and immediately, with Oath of Moment, I just said, all right, all guns just unload on this tank.
And I left the Castigator out in the open, as you can see on the screen, if I did this correctly. Very much out in the open, ready to get shot by a bunch of things that I didn't look at the data sheets for beforehand, so I didn't know how strong they actually were.
Yeah, again, this army it cannot move very well, but it will push if it gets close enough to you.
You know, I should have realized something was up when Nolly said they tried to include these guys in every list, because I know how Nolly plays this game, and I was like, that should have been a sign that something was up with them, but I can't read, essentially, is what I'm trying to say.
Just wait a minute, like, pulls off the sheet, it's just another, like, Titan.
It's an Imperial Knight, like,
No, it's
like
a
a
knight.
fucking tricycle.
I can explain.
God. I wonder if Nolly's gonna play Imperial. We can talk about what Nolly's gonna play after this, but,
Yeah, either
no.
way.
Either way, yeah, you kind of just took the opportunity to move a bunch of things up the board, get things in the firing range. Your Ballistus Dreadnought, that took out Angron in your final match of our Escalation League. Again, incredible work, by the way.
The Ballistus, I wasn't sure how much I was going to like it, because I primarily use the Redemptor Dreadnought, but my partner actually said, hey, try the Ballistus out. And I'm like, okay, it's like good for shooting, but I'm worried about its like performance. But after the last few games, like, no, this thing's a mainstay. And actually, funnily enough, after this game, I've been considering giving up the Redemptor.
What?
We'll talk about that more later, but
Oh my god.
Yeah,
but yeah, no. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
no, yes, the Ballistus Dreadnought did quite a bit of work, just being a backline target for firing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my Terminators were just soaking up damage.
Yeah, your Ballistus and the Centurions did insane damage. I'm still amazed that there's a unit in this game with a 4-inch movement. That's crazy to me.
It's primarily because if they had any more, they'd be broken, because if they had 1 more inch, they would just be better Terminators.
That's what a lot of guys say. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, good.
But yeah, no, I think looking through this footage, I'm trying to... I would just speed it up to 2 times speed, but as I learned with Zach, my camera movements are super fucking erratic in this game. So trying to watch that 2 times speed would give me a headache. But
That's fair.
I think this turn was just you taking out that Castigator for your Oath of Moment. A mechanic that we totally remembered the entire game.
Yeah. No, we did though, because I was gonna say, actually, if I could cut in here, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, because I was gonna say, again, something I had to deal with from transferring from Ultramarines. With Gilliman, I was able to get 2 of those. I only got the 1 this time around, so that was the major like trade-off. But the thing was, and why I said before of how my army is either you take out a lot of things all at once, or you take out one big thing, it's oath of moment.
Yeah.
A lot of my units either have really good strength, but not enough like killing power to take out like swarms, or they have really good swarm like killing potential, but no like strength to back it up. So like I could have an entire Terminator squad fire at one of your tanks. They're not going to probably do anything, but oath of moment gives them that little bit extra just to kind of get in there. So most of my targets were major vehicles, so all of your tanks or tankier units. So they wouldn't normally survive past the firing phase. So I basically just said, all right, this is my target. Get everything in on there, and let's just go to town.
Rest in peace to the Castigator, the thing that I unfortunately kept saying the name wrong of.
Fair.
We're not gonna get into that. I don't think I can say that on YouTube. I don't think I can say what I kept accidentally calling it.
Fair, but
yeah, but no, Joseph, your army balance with this big wet floor sign wall is really solid. You have a really nice mix between heavy hitters and like chaff killers. Like, I think you did a really good job building this list.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I gotta say, also, I thought your army was also really cool, but also, again, I cannot overstate this, your rolls. I was not prepared to be facing lore-accurate Sororitas with the whole, like, you pray hard enough, and then they parried a demon.
Yeah. Looking at my list now, I know, considering how many Nundums I have, I should have taken Morgan Vol, but I just really like Celestine, so I was like, I gotta include her. And,
I mean, it's fair.
Yeah. I just know that well, to be fair, anything that wasn't, like... Actually, I think anything that wasn't, like, the Nundums didn't really do much against your army, is what I'm realizing. Because I was going to say Celestine didn't really do much. But I was like, no. Like, nothing did much because of how tough your army is other than the Nundums.
No, I was going to say, actually, bringing that up, this is something I actually realized, because it's something I get asked all the time because I use Terminators, is like, are you using Deep Strike? The thing I've realized is certain units, like, Celestine I think is really good at it. I think the problem is just, like, I think she was just put in a really unfavorable situation. Because, like, you moved her in there, I had, like, 10 individual units, and, like, just kind of chilling out there, and then, like, 2 more moving in. And I don't remember her really sheet, but I'm assuming Celestine was she's primarily, like, I'm assuming, like, big damage, like, single target kind of stuff, right?
Her range is like a flamethrower for some reason, despite it being a sword. And then her sword is like a big single damage target with, like, devastating wounds and stuff.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think it's just, she was just put in a situation where, like, she was not going to be able, like, I threw literally everything in the kitchen sink at her, because I did not want her getting close to my guys.
And then she didn't die.
Yeah, that was another reason, like, she just was not dying, and that's what was scaring me, was, like, I'm not saying it, like, given how things played out, I'm not saying it would, like, completely ruin my strategy, but, like, there was a non-zero chance that she just kind of, turns all of my men into paper mache and puts them all on t-shirts, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, what was for even funnier is that, like, you killed both of her little, like, polycule members. I could have brought one of those back, that next turn if we'd kept going.
Oh, they had revive?
Yeah, so Celestine can revive either for 2 bodyguards, or if she's attached to a unit, you can, like, roll a d3 and revive that many bodyguards to her unit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I just forgot about it, so I didn't do it.
Fair, but again, that right there is the reason why I said I saw her just kind of show up and just kind of said, I'm not messing with that. Partly due to the fact of, I see a big angel with a sword. I'm assuming that's going to kill me in melee, especially since it's something from the Imperium. But also, I've learned from your swooping hawks. I know when the wing thing shows up in the background, don't fuck with it.
So, what's really funny about the swooping hawks is that, like, everyone doesn't, like, no one takes them seriously until it's too late. I've noticed this happened. Well, no, Zach took them seriously, but it was also Zach's, like, first ever full game. I nicknamed my whole thing with them and the Warp Spiders the "Go Fuck Yourself" strategy. because I dropped both of them right near one of Zach's big conglomerate of like important units, and they just shredded. It was really not great for Zach.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I know we're not talking about your other army here, but your Eldar army, I've learned very quickly. Like, yeah, I can take out quite a few of them very quickly because they got glass bones and paper teeth, but they also have glass shuriken cannons that they're good at cutting you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And honestly, that's kind of what I was scared, because again, I don't really have much experience fighting Sororitas, so I thought it was going to be like a similar story, where like I was ready for them to just like start melting me, because I saw Melta on some of the categories. I'm just like, I'm not playing with that.
Oh no, their Melta's nowhere near as bad as Fire Dragons, don't worry. Which is unfortunate, because I've gotten so used to the Melta on Fire Dragons that, like, I almost instinctively re-rolled some of the wound and hits when I used the Retributors here. I was like, oh wait, crap, can't do that.
That's fair. Speaking of which, viewers...
Round 2. We should actually talk... We're just talking general things about the match. We should actually get to talking about the
fair.
rounds.
I could talk about my disdain for Fuegan later.
We'll talk about why you hate Fuegan later. But round 2, I did some pretty normal movement. I remembered my detachment rule here, which is I get assault on like all of my ranged weapons, so I can actually advance and fire. Something I forgot about turn 1, otherwise I would have advanced more people. Because I'm a fool. I kind of just made general moves to try and get in as much as possible. You can see at the bottom of the board, I moved as many things as I could up near Joseph's second Terminator squad without the chaplain, because I wanted them dead. They needed to die by my hand. Mainly because they had a character attached, and I was trying to go for those assassinate points. Spoiler warning, a bunch of Battle Sisters are not going to be able to take down those Terminators. At least not this round. I do some decent damage there, though. I deployed the Celestin Sacrosands from the Immolator, if I remember correctly. And... Oh, yeah, I did. I'm watching myself pull them out right now.
Yeah.
I tried killing the Chaplain Terminators again, to not great effect. And then I dropped Celestine and her Seraphim squad behind the Heavy Intercessors, which I didn't know existed until this game.
And I'm going to be real, this is where I got really nervous.
I did not realize there was Heavy Intercessors and that they have not only 3 health, but like 6 toughness, which is insane, because that's like tougher than a Terminator, I'm pretty sure.
I believe so, yeah.
That's crazy to me. Also, I just fast-forwarded to a part of the clip where I rolled... when I need to roll a 3, I rolled a 1, a 2, and a 6. So, like... yeah, my rolls were really weird yesterday when we did this.
Yeah. But no, because like I was gonna say, I've dealt with other armies like like Wayne's Orc army, like just having to the pure numbers, where it's like, yeah, individually they're not that strong, but like just so many of them at once. I was like, I need to get you off some of these objective points, because this is where, in my other battles, it would be, I see all that, like, all right, this is where I get pushed off these points, this is where I get overrun, and you had me panicking, I'll be real.
And then you panicked for nothing as you watched my poor girls die because I misplayed, and because they're not as strong as I thought they were. Insert that one Invincible meme from the comic of Mark with like fucking blood on his hands going, I thought you were stronger, but it's just like a Heavy Intercessor in Imperial Fist armor or some shit.
I thought you'd roll higher.
God. I was gonna say something. Oh, no, yeah. Like, to give you guys an idea of how weird my rolls are, at the start of the game, just to make sure that I got my special dice loaded in, and by special dice, I mean ones that have the special Sororitas logo on them, they weren't loaded. I rolled 25 of them just to see how, just to make sure that it all worked correctly. I somehow got a near perfect array where, each row had 4 dice in it. So, like, I rolled 4 1s, 4 2s, 4 3s, 4 4s, 4 5s, and, like, 4 6s. Sorry, I rolled 5 5s because there was 25 dice I rolled, so there was 1 extra one.
Yeah, it was
But
extra
otherwise, but otherwise, it was a near perfect array, and that was the first roll of the game, was just me testing the dice. And we kind of just sat there like, what the fuck? And then it just kept going the entire game.
Again, there's a reason why I said biblically accurate, like, you know, I want to say nuns, but I know, like, sororitas. Just, you had some witchcraft and wizardry going on your side of the board.
The rotting ghost of Goj Van Dyer came back to jerk off one more time.
Oh my, no.
I don't think I can say that, but it's staying in the episode.
That one's getting redacted by the.
Look, we already had one joke last episode I had to cut because even though it was clear Zach was joking, I don't think we could keep it in.
Fair enough. Also, getting back to the match, talking about your high
sorry.
rolls, as I see you roll like 5 6s, just like it's nothing.
I mean, look, the Emperor protects. What more can I say? He's a dude who sits on his throne and occasionally lets women have fun.
He's a guy.
He knows that girls just want to have fun. Like, we were going to name this episode until I made the stupid pun that's actually going to be the name of this episode. But, yeah, so basically my entire turn 2 was spent trying to whittle down Joseph's forces. I don't think I got a single unit fully killed that entire round. I just kind of did chip damage to a lot of them. And then...
Yeah.
And then the yellow tide swept the battlefield. Joseph, would you like to describe the first move you made once you got to your movement phase on turn 2?
Okay, so much like an OSHA agent seeing a man not listening to him for 5 seconds, I rushed in my Centurions like it was my birthright, directly through a wall.
No, not that. Sorry, no. I'm talking. I'm talking. The thing you started this turn with.
Oh wait, that's right. I forgot my favorite thing. So the one thing I have not mentioned up to this point is, which is my favorite thing to do, is I have a Storm Raven gunship in my army.
Which you would have seen on the army list towards the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, Keen Eye viewers will notice the limousine, as we call it. Loaded inside of this is a Redemptor Dreadnought and 3 more Centurions, specifically the Assault variety, which were dropped off right behind enemy lines and right by the backmost point.
Mm-hmm.
So a Redemptor Dreadnought and 3 Centurions just started blasting everything.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it was at this moment I realized I have no answers to this. I do not have enough anti-tank to deal with all of this.
Yeah, my entire army can best be described as what if we just made tanks on legs? That is my whole army.
Joseph took a look at a tank and said, what if it could give feet picks? And then here we are.
No, oh my...
I'm sorry. I slandered you. I'm sorry.
You're going in the Nurgle Cauldron pot for that one.
Wait, hold on a minute, no! I don't want to become like, crap, what's his name?
I know what you're talking about. The one Nurgling became the Grand Clean one.
Yeah, hold on. Nurgle that fell in the pot.
Cho'Gath?
I think it's Cho'Gath, yeah. Or Kugoth. There we go.
Kugoth. There it is.
Cho'Gath, I'm pretty sure is a League of Legends character. I think.
Oh, shoot. -5 points for me then.
Yeah. No.
League of Legends.
I want you to know that when I started typing in Nurgle that fell in the pot. When I got Nurgle that fell in the first autofill was the Bible.
The Bible.
Yeah, that's right, Nurgle. He was in the Bible. GW just took a character from the Bible wholesale. They weren't even trying to hide it this time.
I mean, won't be the first time.
It wouldn't. It'd be really funny if Nurgle was there. I'm imagining like the last supper, but Nurgle's just in the background. Oh my god!
No, he's catering.
Jason, I almost called you Jason. Holy shit, Joseph. I need you to rev up your Photoshop program.
Just put Nurgle
in the background of the Last Supper.
Absolute, and Nurgle was there. Did you save room for Nurgle? But yeah, we're gonna go off track here. So getting back on track.
Jesus, it's me, Nurgle. You might gotta watch out for that Judas guy.
Anyway,
Something smells about him. Sorry. Getting back on topic.
He reeks of Zechian treachery. But no, getting back on track. Wait, no, Jesus would be a corn follower. Hold on. No, hold on.
Wait, hold up. What? Woody?
Well, think of it like this: he died for our sins. He gave his blood for us. Blood for the blood god.
He did also beat up those bankers that one time.
Exactly. So he would. Okay. What do you receive in communion? The blood of Christ.
Those weird little wafers that gave me a migraine one time before I found out I was allergic to wheat.
The skulls for the wheat throne.
Okay, last time we're off topic for at least 5 minutes. I need to talk about this.
Maybe. Anyway, so like... Go off.
I haven't been in a church very often in my life. I used to go a lot as a kid because of my family, but even then we didn't go super often. At least like a third of the times I've been in a church, I've had some weird medical fuck up happen, like very soon after leaving a church or right as we were leaving it. Like that aforementioned, like migraine from eating one of the little wafers. The most recent one, I think I might have told you the story already. I was out visiting my parents for Christmas, and they took me to like a Christmas kind of like mass kind of thing. And I kid you not, as soon as I walked through the doors of that church, my nose just started erupting in blood. Just as soon as I walked through the doors.
It's crazy.
Anyway, that's all. Back to the match. For some reason, I have like 5 minutes of footage of me looking at the trash hole.
Yep, fair enough. I sometimes look at the trash hole too.
Oh wait, no, I was looking at your dice rolls. That's what I was doing. Okay.
Oh, okay. So like I was saying though, actually on this round, after I did move all of these fellas in position, I had the thought of, okay, I need to get something into the back line, and I was debating what would be the best thing. I realized Centurions were literally a single, like, 0.1 inch, like, in range to get on the back point. I'm like, I want them to actually do something, because their whole thing is, melee. My Redemptor was also close enough where it could hit there, like, decently quickly enough, but I also wanted to do things. My only other thought was, maybe I'll just send the Rhino back there, because it's the only vehicle with objective control, and just have it just speed on into the background.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because at this point, I was essentially just saying, I just need to cut off the Sororitas' point gain from objective control.
And that's how you took control of, like, 4/5 of the board, and made me realize I focused too many units over on your single squad of Terminators, and that kind of screwed me out of having any shot at winning this game. That and the fact that your shooting is so strong that it just kind of wiped out most of my army in the second turn shooting phase.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this army, it's what I say a lot, is like, they are not very good against vehicles. So like, if I'm fighting something where it's, a lot of really big units, I'm gonna struggle a little bit depending on what's going on. But if you just have a lot of small fries, that's the bread and butter of just, okay, just put a Terminator squad out there, grab fire 2, just go to town.
Yeah. Rest in peace, all those young women who devoted themselves to Christ, the Emperor, and died horribly because I thought they were tougher than they were.
I'm sorry, women.
I'm sorry, women, for putting you in this situation. But yeah, no. You really cleaned up this round. I still thought I had a chance to bring it back, but I think you wiped out most of both of my Battle Sister squads. In the center, you wiped out all of my Nundums, both through shooting and melee, except for the main one.
Yeah, there was one Nundum left, and you withdrew her after the melee phase because you said if I wanted to take her out, you were gonna like force me to like really commit to it.
Yeah, I was going to force you to really overextend for it. Celestine lost a couple Seraphims because you shot them with the ballista that I didn't realize was in range. Or not in range, I didn't realize I had line of sight.
Yeah, and to be fair, also, like either way, she was probably gonna be fine because the ballistas again, it's most of the weapons I have equipped on that thing are primarily just to do big numbers. It's not like rapid fire. Like hell, even my Storm Raven didn't have the original. My original hat, which was like instead of the twin storm bolter, it had the las cannon. So that's why over here, well, not over here, I should say, on the right side or closer to me, a lot of your army was kind of just giving me issue of just like sticking around because like I just did not have anything that was really good at like just thinning herds.
Yeah. I also just kind
I should say.
I also just kind of used the normal sister squad as a shield for all the tougher things behind them.
I mean, it worked. Like,
yeah,
I could not get through them because, like, closer to you, like, you had a whole, like, group of scissors, like, in front of the tank, and realistically, I would have loved to just run to that tank and just have it, like, deadly demise, but I couldn't do that because, like, there were just too many people in the way.
I really should have saved the Miracle Dice, the 1/6 I got at the very beginning of the game for Miracle Dice. I should have saved that for a Deadly Demise just because it would have been funny as hell.
That I would have... I can do nothing but say I respect that.
Actually, I don't even know if you can use Miracle Dice on that, but I feel like you should be able to. It would be funny as hell.
I mean, I don't see why not, but then again, John Workshop works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, James Workshop has weird rules. Rest in peace. I actually don't even know what... Oh... I don't even know what faction got nerfed recently. Oh wait, not rest in peace. Point in case for James Workshop having weird rules. The new Orc detachment that got an emergency errata because of how broken it was after like 3 weeks of it being out. That's also dating when we record this episode super hard, but I don't care.
Yeah, well, either way, it's still really funny.
Yeah,
also, rest in peace, the psychic phase.
That's true. You heard about what happened with Mordaka, right?
Yeah, it was like, what was it? They gave him sustained hits 2 on their shooting?
Yeah.
That's... I still can get over that, because like, I fought like an orc army twice, and I've seen how many, like, just how many dice they can roll. Like, oh yeah, sustained hits 2. Why?
So, I'm going to put this into perspective for you. Nolly played a game with that detachment just to test it out and see how it works. Nolly fired 20 shots at one point, walked away with 40 hits.
Because, just fuck it, let's make it bigger.
There's a reason they had to change it from having sustained hits to having assault and then sustained hits 1 during the WA. Which is, honestly, it feels a lot more balanced. I haven't seen it in practice yet because this happened like 2 days ago as of the time of us recording this. But it sounds on paper a lot better than sustained hits too.
I just can't get over just... I mean, it's on brand for orcs. Shoot 20 bullets, hit 40 things. Just how that happened? Magic.
Yeah. It's just how the gun works. I'm not going to even try doing an orc voice. I feel like I will offend not only the British, but like myself in trying to do an orc voice.
Fair enough. But either way, getting back to the match now.
Yeah, real quick, Joseph, despite how often we've gone off topic, we're still more on topic than Zach and I were, I think.
I'm both stunned, but also kind of not at the same time, only because I know Zach is a little bit newer at this than I am.
We talked about Everclear a lot.
I mean, they were playing Spaceballs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna talk about Everclear.
Yeah, that's the Space Wolf difference.
Got that 1,000 proof.
Anyway, back to the match. Like I said, during my second turn, I did as much shooting as I could. Did not manage to like actually knock anyone off the board. I just hit him as hard as I could. Joseph, however, Joseph had a very different story.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we're on to the third turn. We already talked about the second turn. Wow, we really got off topic. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not too much happened in the second turn outside of like just minor drop-offs and a few like pick-offs.
Yeah. Third turn is where the battle was kind of won. I took out the Terminators and Mr. Gordon. I don't remember his name. I just remember his last name kind of looked like Gordon. Down on the bottom of the map.
It's Tor Garadon, or Gordon Ramsay, as I call him.
Okay, yeah. I picked them off finally after horrible events, aka me having my sister's body block for my tank and for my Nundums. Unfortunately, everything up on my top point, my Immolator, which died last round, and then my Retributors are not going to make it. Important to note, my Celestine Sacrosanct, which made it up here, and got out of the tank last round, and we're finally going to do something this round. Rolled Snake Eyes on their charge on something that was 2 inches away from them, so they instantly failed the charge, and couldn't do the one thing I included them for, which was try to hit things really hard. And I'm going to be honest, this entire game and my last game I played against Crow, I've kind of been disappointed in the Sacrosancts, because they just did not... I like them because they look cool. I like the big shield look. They did not do anything either game. It's kind of sad.
That's fair. Well, hey, you know what unit you replace them with that also uses shields?
What's that?
Terminators.
The sisters don't have any, otherwise I would.
I mean, I was joking gonna say you can put like allied units, but I'm like, I don't know if you can do that actually.
Are there Deathwatch Terminator? Hold on.
I mean, I imagine there are.
There has to be, right? Like, I don't know much about the Death... I can include... Oh, Deathwatch Terminator squads are legends? What the hell?
Oh, what?
Sorry,
James Workshop.
Sorry, Deathwatch. Only the cool Space Marine chapters get the girl. And by the girl, I mean the giant hulking Terminator armor. Speaking of, I just remembered your Centurions charged my Celestine Sacrosancts, and neither of them did jack shit to each other.
Yeah, because I made a very poor choice in having the Devastator squad, which are primarily for range, try to get into a melee battle. They have melee. You shouldn't really be using it. It's like it's kind of a... Well, I mean, they got it. But, yeah, most of this part of the battle, I will say, was just me firing anti-tank rifles at random, like, just human women. And it was... felt very weird.
You know, you still probably treat women better than most men in America, so, like, you know. Which isn't saying much. Isn't saying much.
It really isn't, but also, Christ, I don't even know I don't know how to transition off of that.
Folks, if you're male, be nice to women.
Please.
Women, expect more from men.
Also, yes.
Sorry, no, I'm laughing, but I'm dead serious. Anyway,
it's just having this conversation in the middle of a Warhammer talk. Anyway, yes. But yeah, they were dying, but it was like, I'm firing one or two of these, and since the way Warhammer works, you don't really have splash damage, it was essentially just, well, there's an artillery round, and, I don't know, Sandy is just dead now. Well, moving on.
Joseph, you wanna know what's really fucked up?
What?
I'm fast-forwarding through this recording. We still have an hour left of it. I know for a fact 45 minutes of that is just your third turn where you just clean up my entire goddamn board.
Christ.
But yeah, I cleaned up one unit. I managed to knock out, using Celestine and some other things, the heavy intercessors and, what's his name? Not Tor Gordon.
No, it was Tor Gordon, because Lysander is the one with the stick who's on the other side.
Oh, wait, yeah. I managed to wipe them out, so I got 8 points for killing characters this turn. which made me think, maybe I can bring this back. Maybe I can figure this out and bring this back. Joseph then proceeded to spend their entire turn crushing my dreams as hard as they could. Joseph, would you like to tell the class about how your third turn went?
Sure. So my entire third turn was essentially just spent. Well, to start it off, I declared it with a moment on the last tank that Jay here had, and my third turn was essentially just spent throwing everything my ballistas had into that thing, and leaving it with, like, what was it, 1 point of health remaining?
It was 1 point of health. Yeah, the Rhino survived with 1 point of health, I remember, though.
Yeah, so it was... Okay, even if it did get onto my objective, it wouldn't be able to beat out the Ballistas Dreadnought for Rotetic Control, so I still have my own backline point, and also it would have to perform a Battle Shock test. And the very calm and reasonable side of me saw the 1 point of HP and just said, I'm going to turn everything around and just take out that tank now because it's bothering me. But I didn't do that. So...
Yeah.
I let my last, my one Terminators closest to Jay's side, just kind of do their last things. They were not going to make it. It was one Terminator had like a gun and like a fist, and then the man with the big fist of Dorn, which that was all he had. He was not gonna win this. So I let that side essentially fall.
Bro was not built for this.
For real. But I let that side essentially fall, and I said, okay, I've effectively gotten Jay here stuck in this one spot, so if I can just claim the middle and the side, and then also cap the back point to stop pointing from there, I can effectively just block point gain for the rest of the game. So that's what I did. I just had my Intercessors and my Devastator squad had to back up, but I had those guys go to town in the middle. My Eradicators, which were inside my Rhino, decided to jump out at this point and just started firing on Celestine because, I did not want her getting close to my guys because I don't know what she can do and I don't want to find out. So it was essentially just at that point, everyone fire at the Angel, and then after that, my assault Eradicator, Centurions moved in, and, well, it was the weirdest feeling having anti-vehicle melee weapons going in on infantry, but we were there now.
This is when the thing that is being displayed in the thumbnail happened, where these assault Centurions, which are infantry, burst through the wall Kool-Aid Man style and killed my Retributors to death.
Yeah.
It was really funny. It was awesome.
I was gonna say, I think the funniest part of the match for me was Jay here just seeing these things, and then, yeah, because I'm always a little fuzzy on some of the rules. I was like, wait, so infantry can just go through these walls, right? And they're like, yeah, you can just go through them. So I'm like, oh, cool, and I just move Centurions right through the wall, and hearing them just go, wait, that's infantry? Priceless.
I thought they were like... Because, like, the Nundums are count as vehicles, so I just assumed, because they're also big fuckers in, like, power armor, I assumed it was the same thing. No!
Yeah, no, I don't know what the lore for Centurion armor is, or, like, what it is with Centurions. They're like that one little, like, middle area between a Dreadnought and a Terminator where I don't fully know. I know what those two, like, what the whole thing with those two are, but I do not know Centurions.
Yeah.
But... yeah, this round was essentially me just saying, I'm going to town, and I just need to just take out everything, because I got a foothold, I'm not about to lose it.
Yeah. And that you did. You really just kind of wiped out everything except for Celestine on the top half of the board. I think my Celestine Sacrosanct, like, were the only thing left on the middle point, and they couldn't stand up against, your other Centurions and your Intercessors and the Eradicators and the Rhino. And I just wouldn't be able to move all my other dudes up the board fast enough in time. Sorry, all my ladies up the board fast enough in time. So at the top of round 4, I just conceded like a bitch because I knew I couldn't win. I knew it was over. It was also like midnight and I was kind of tired.
And that's valid, but
yeah,
that was... That was mostly the game. Was well, essentially the Dorn defense. I don't know what the hell you'd call it. Just pushing up the board.
The Dorn defense. So, Pillsbury Dorn boy, how'd you feel about this match overall, now that we know how it ended?
I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that and move on. Anyway,
I'm gonna pretend I didn't stumble over my words trying to say it.
I felt pretty good about that match. I mean, not just because, well, it's gonna sound dumb, like, well, I won, but it felt good for the first time actually fielding Imperial Fists. Because I've been saying, like, the entire time we've been doing other stuff with Warhammer, like, oh, I want to do Imperial Fists, and just not doing that because I'm stubborn and a little bit lazy. But it felt good to finally get the Imperial Fists out, and also it felt really good to just really go all in on my Terminator strategy.
Yeah, no, it was a really cool game. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot, and now I know how to beat them. And by that I mean I'm just going to throw my Eldar at it and let Fuegan and the Fire Dragons fucking melt them to death.
I have been so excited to fight your Eldar again. I cannot wait. And to our fans out there, if you want to learn more about my disdain for Fuegan, you can find out more at ihatefuegan.com at...
Did you actually set that up yet?
No, there's no ihatefuegan.com. I got I guess last tangent for this episode. I tried setting it up, and then in the process, it turned into me just yelling about how much I cannot stand, like, the iPhone, because I was trying to set up on my phone, like, stuff from my phone, and the process of just trying to save an image was, like, so, like, tedious, because there's so much, like, stupid, like, stuff on there, that I'm just like, this is driving me insane, I can't do this anymore, and I just kind of gave up, because I was so frustrated, I only had so much time before I had to get to the match.
God, what a game. Well, Joseph, thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for this really fun game. I look forward to next time where I make you fight my Sons of Russ. Yeah.
I cannot wait to fight the wolves.
Yeah, the Sons of Russ.
You say it like there's something else I don't know about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What are you planning?
This and that. Sometimes foreshadowing is a literary device where